What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 35, and we're starting today's episode off here with some player training for Ryan Tyler, Loftus-Cheek, and Jack Butland as well. And we also have some international friendlies with Canada. The first one was against South Africa, and we drew it 1 goal each, and the second one was also against South Africa. 2 friendlies with Canada against South Africa, and just like the first friendly, we took the lead, but then we doubled the lead to make it 2-0, and for the first time since taking over, fist pump time, start applauding, finally, Canada have won a game. Can you believe it? Canada have won a game finally after about 10, 12 attempts. Canada have won themselves a match. They've beaten South Africa at the second time of asking by 2-1. Our academy player, McKendry, got the first goal, and then Larine got the second. So absolutely delighted about that. You saw Loftus-Cheek also grew a rating as well, and is now 74 overall rated. So I'm so happy that Canada finally won a game, because we won't have any qualifiers to play until next season. I said that I do want to play those qualifiers and hopefully get Canada to a World Cup at some stage during this series, but you know, the fact they just kept on losing games, you know, be it friendlies or not, was so demoralising. To see them finally notch up a win is so good to see, and Canada get themselves their first win in the series. Still, we take on Swansea for the first game of today's episode here, the first of 3 games in today's episode, as we travel to the Welsh side's ground, the Liberty Stadium here. First chance of the game would fall here to us in the 22nd minute, but how about this for a double stop by the Swansea goalkeeper Nortveld? Absolutely superb double save to the Nathan Redmond, not once but twice, and it was still 0-0. And in the 28th minute, Swansea should have opened the scoring here. Gylfi Sigurdsson got played forward, but the Icelandic playmaker shot hits the post, and the former Spurs man couldn't find the back of the net. So still Swansea 0, Watford 1. Ki Sung-young then went pretty close here in the 43rd minute. This shot going just wide the post and behind for a goal kick from the Korean. And at half-time, as you can see, we had more possession. We had only 1 shot on target compared to Swansea's 0, but it was a pretty balanced first half. But in the second half, 7 minutes after the restart here, Sigurdsson once again going pretty close. His first shot hit the woodwork. This shot was well saved by Jack Butland and turned behind for a corner. Good save there from Butland, but what followed from the corner was not what you'll call a good save from Butland. It wasn't really anything from Jack Butland. The corner gets crossed in, and I really do like Butland. He's been a good signing for us since coming in the first season, but answers on a postcard. What is my young goalkeeper doing here? The corner comes in, he goes to punch the ball away, does his best Superman impression, and gets absolutely nowhere near. I mean, there's no pressure on him either. I don't know how on earth he misjudged the flight of the ball so badly, and Ed Air says thank you very much and makes it Swansea 1, Watford 0. So we fall behind in this game. Boufal had a chance to equalise from this free kick in the 59th minute, with a shot going just wide the post and behind for a goal kick. And then the former Swansea man John Joe Shelby swings in his corner towards Troy Deeney in the centre there in the 66th minute, but the header goes over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So still Swansea 1, Watford 0. Another chance in the 73rd minute, and again the ball goes out for a goal kick after a good attempt for us, goes wide at the post. Ruben Loftus-Cheek with a half volley, putting it across the face of goal, but no one gets on the end of it, and it's still Swansea 1, Watford 0. And in stoppage time, Swansea could have made it 2-0 and sealed the points. Kyle Norton finds Grimes inside towards Marvin Emnes, and the shot goes over the bar and behind. But that was the final score: Swansea 1, Watford 0. We travel to Wales. Sadly, we will leave with 0 points. We won our last game at home to Manchester United, a very good 2-0 victory, but this sadly was not our game. Swansea did play better than us as well. You know, there will be some games where we'll play well and just not get the luck we need, but in this game, Swansea did play better. They were the better side. We had some chances, we had some attempts as well, but the real problem in that game was that it wasn't that we couldn't create any chances, it's that the chances that we did create, we weren't able to find the back of the net with, obviously not scoring any goals, and that has been the problem for us this season. You know, I know I do sound like a broken record from time to time, and that is understandable. You guys must get frustrated with this, but scoring goals in this year's FIFA is a lot harder than last year. You know, last year, if you watch my career mode, you would know that I could score goals for fun with pretty much any player, but I just couldn't defend. Whereas this year, defensively, it's not too much of a struggle for me. Okay, there are some games where we'll lose, but even when we do lose, we don't lose by too many goals. But scoring goals really is a problem for me, and we need to get it sorted. But still, we take on Panathinaikos for the second game of today's episode here, the second of 3 games in the Europa League penultimate game of the group stage. As you can see with the team I picked as well, there were a lot of changes, 9 in total, and I also changed formation as well. Decided to do that because obviously we are struggling with the 4-2-3-1 this season. Thought a change of formation might make us look a bit more offensive and give us more chances of goals, and that's exactly what happened, because 29 minutes in, relief for Charlie Austin. He opens the scoring and makes it Panathinaikos 0, Watford 1, and gets his first goal in 7 games. Nice little build-up, good little ball inside by Damari Gray, and Austin with the finish, making it 1-0. Troy Deeney struggling. Maybe Austin deserves a chance, but that's only his first goal in, like I said, 7 games. Good to see him hit the back of the net, but either way, thankfully for us, we do open the scoring in this game. It was getting a little bit worrying how I just couldn't seem to find the back of the net against Swansea, but in this game, in the first half in particular, we looked much, much better and much more brighter and much more threatening. Had a great chance there in the 43rd minute for Marco Ryan Talla to get his 4th goal in 5 Europa League games, but the shot went just wide the post and behind for a goal kick, and from the goal kick, we win the ball back and give it to Ryan Talla down the left-hand side, plays a 1-2 with Felivi. Ryan Talla gets himself inside after the fake shot into the area, gets a little bit lucky, and then gets very lucky as his shot takes a huge deflection off Sanchez, and Marco Ryan Talla gets his 4th goal in 5 Europa League games. This is absolutely incredible, and I know this took a huge deflection and everything, don't get me wrong, but it was on target, so he's going to claim it. 4 goals in 5 Europa League games for Marco Ryan Talla, 18 years old, our scout future star. What a debut season he's having, at least in this competition. He's on course for the golden boot as things stand, and it makes it Panathinaikos 0, Watford 2. And in the second half here, just 3 minutes after the restart, Gomez catches this corner and does what Jack Butland couldn't do, and that's deal with the set piece. And after a monster throw to the halfway line, he picks out Michael Feliviu, gets past 1, gets past 2, his shot on the 1-on-1 hits the post, but it comes straight back to him, and Michael Felivi gets his 2nd goal in 2 games. That makes it Panathinaikos 0, Watford 3. So we've got some good young players in this Watford team, some very good young players indeed. They've got some big futures too. Marco Ryan Talla, the scout future star, with his 4th goal in 5 Europa League games. Michael Felivi was 2nd in 2 games in all competitions after coming off the bench to score against Manchester United. The future's looking very bright for Watford. We make it 3-0 in this game. Felivi could have got his 2nd goal of the game here late on. If it wasn't for a great save by Luke Steele, he would have done so. But even so, the final score is Panathinaikos 0, Watford 3. And it's pretty ironic that I just discussed there the problems with us scoring. We scored 3 goals in this game, looked so much better, and I do believe the change of formation really did do wonders for us. So a much deserved victory for us in this one. We played very, very well indeed. A much better performance too. Felipe was my player of the match for 1 assist and 1 goal as well. So, you know, there are some young players in this Watford team. It is a very, very young team. We're transitioning it into a very youthful one, but there are so many good potential players in here. One is Ryan Talla, one is Felivi, and they both scored in that game to make it 3-0. And that does mean as well, we have guaranteed a place in the knockout stage as the group winners. We guaranteed a place in the knockout stage in the last game after our victory away in Poland against Lech Poznan, but because we won that game, we are now guaranteed to go up as group winners as well. Go through as group winners as well, which is really good to see, because I did say that this group, you know, no disrespect to the 3 teams in it, Hearts, Panathinaikos and Lech Poznan, but I did say I was very, very glad with the group we got. I really did feel we should be able to top that group and do it not with ease per se, but do it without too much difficulty. And we've rested players in all of the games, and we've looked very good in most of the games as well. So really pleased with that. We're through to the knockout stages as group winners with a game to spare. We'll rest all the players against Hearts, and I'm very, very pleased to bounce back and get a win in that game as well and return to winning ways. Still, we take on QPR for the 3rd and final game of today's episode here back in the Premier League. The first chance fell to us, but Nathan Redmond's shot went wide the post, and then the 32nd minute, Charlie Austin starting in place of Troy Deeney, who was dropped for this game, putting this shot just wide the post against his former club and behind for a goal kick. So 2 good chances there, first for Redmond, then for Austin, but it was still goalless. In the 38th minute, John Joe Shelby plays a great through ball towards Charlie Austin, has the pace to beat James Perch, goes through 1-on-1, and again, Charlie Austin fails to hit the target. So he may have scored on Thursday night against Panathinaikos, but he missed 2 golden chances to give us the lead in this game, and it was still Watford 0, QPR 0. Jack Butland then made a pretty good save here on the stroke of half time, and eventually we got the ball away with Nathan Redmond, and it was still 0-0 at the break. We have played a little bit better in the first half, but not too many chances to report. But in the second half, just 2 minutes after the restart, another great chance for us. Loftus-Cheek finds Redmond back inside to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and it's a great save by the goalkeeper, who turns it over the bar and behind for a corner. So still 0-0. And then how about this in the 54th minute? I surrender possession with John Joe Shelby. Queen's Park Rangers get themselves a chance here as Jamie Mackie gets himself inside the area. He takes a tumble, hits the deck, and the referee awards a penalty. But I didn't even need a replay for this. I knew that this was not a penalty because Joel Matip comes across here, Mackie miskicks the ball, falls over, and Matip hasn't even touched him. There was no contact with Matip or Mackie there. You could see that on the replay, yet the referee awards a penalty. That was never a penalty in my opinion, but the referee gave one. I thought we were really harshly done by there. Penalty to Queen's Park Rangers though, 10 minutes after the break. A great chance for the number 9 to make it Watford 0, QPR 1. He does just that because Butland dives the right way, but he can't get anything on it, and the away side take a surprise lead here 11 minutes after the restart. So I was so frustrated about that because 1, it wasn't a penalty, and 2, I dived the right way with Jack Butland, but he couldn't get anything on it, and it wasn't even a great penalty by by the number 9. It was a good height for Jack Butland. He goes the right way. He doesn't get anything on it. I don't know why, but I just can't save penalties. It's something I've never been able to do. And sadly for us, QPR take a surprise lead, and the away side make it Watford 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. In the 73rd minute, a good chance for us to equalise though. Bertrand Traore gets himself inside the area, but once again, it's a good save by the goalkeeper, and eventually Matt Phillips gets the ball away. So still Watford 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. And one of our final chances would fall in the 84th minute as our right back Neon finds Troy Deeney. Deeney finds Obior Lowry, plays it through towards Buffal, but once again, it's a great save by the goalkeeper, and QPR get the ball away. And it was how the game would finish as well. Final score, Watford 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Back-to-back defeats in the Premier League, and for a side who are desperate to break into the top 4 this year, those are the kind of results which, quite frankly, are completely unacceptable. We should have won that game, or at the very least, got a point. We played well, but again, the problem is we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Really frustrating, worrying times. Second season syndrome is definitely in full effect. But that does end the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, it's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.